No belief is true. Life has no meaning. Nothing we do matters. All is vanity and a striving after wind. We're going to die, and it will be as if we never lived. Everything we think is true is false. All our beliefs are delusions, and everything we know is a lie. There is no such thing as success. Nothing we do can make any possible difference. No matter how fast we go, or how far ahead we are not going anywhere. The best and the brightest are in a dead tie with the worst and the dimmest. These are the facts of life, simple, obvious, plain to behold, yet universally unrecognized and unacknowledged. This is what it means to see what's not and not see what is, to be in denial, to be asleep within the dream, to reside in the womb of the unborn. We are madly, desperately, insanely afraid of the truth, and it is that fear that walls us off from our unbounded nature. It is the emotional energy of fear that erects and maintains the egoic shell. Then this sort of death awareness you're talking about, says Shanti. Memento mori, I interrupt. Remember, you must die. Death awareness. Okay, memento mori, she says, but that's not what you did. This wasn't your practice, was it? Yes and no, I say. I began my journey from the very first instant with the knowledge that my life was forfeit. That was a lock, and I was unspeakably happy to make that bargain. My fogged-in little nothing of a life in exchange for clarity? Of course, total no-brainer. There was never the slightest hesitation. Would you trade nothing for everything? By the time you understand the question, you've already answered it. But you're not dead, she says reasonably. The person to whom that happened no longer exists, I say. And what I am now lives in constant death awareness. It is suffused throughout my dream state being, the way fear and death denial used to be. Death is always before my eyes. I never hide it or deny it or push it away. Death is the diamond heart of my dream state being. It is the defining feature that shows me the value of everything I see. I let them think about that while I kick at the fire. I turn back to them. I've said this before, I continue. I love the fact of my death. It has made my life possible. There could have been no awakening without it. It's how I know the value of things. It's how I know what beauty is. It's why I am gratitude-based instead of fear-based. It's also how I know child from adult, asleep from awake. It's how I can look at someone and know if death walks before them or behind. I turn it back on them. This isn't about death in the abstract. It's about death in the most personal, intimate sense. Your death. Death is the meaning in the dream state shadow of no self. Death is the boogeyman. You can't kill him, or hide from him, or get away from him. You can only turn toward him or away from him. If you turn toward him, befriend him, fully embrace him, not superficially, but as your own essential truth, then death is the demon you can ride into every battle the way Brett rode her father demon, the way Lisa rode that photo koan. What do you recommend we do? Asks Justin with a touch of sarcasm. Hang out in graveyards? Hell yes, I say. Cemeteries are wonderful places to walk and think. Buy yourself a burial plot and have your lunch there every day. Order your headstone. A glimpse of your own mortality really puts things in perspective. Isn't that what people say? Well, that's what you want to do. See your own mortality. Put things in perspective. There are lots of ways you could raise your awareness. Study photos of people like yourself, now dead. Read books about death and suicide. Carry poison in your pocket and contemplate it often. Walk along high ledges. Lie down on railroad tracks and read poetry. Put a loaded gun in your mouth and cock it. I myself enjoy sitting on the ledges of tall buildings at night, looking out over the city and down at the street below, my feet dangling over nothingness. I like walking in thunderstorms where lightning could strike me down at any instant. I guess all this sounds extreme, but I don't see how anything could be too extreme. The idea is right. Put yourself in close proximity to death. Every hour, every day, you want to be taking time to immerse yourself in the mindset of death awareness, of time awareness, of the fact that the clock is ticking, that every day is one day less, that every breath you take is one breath less. Measure your life in weeks or months instead of years, and take somber note of their passing. Take time every morning to understand what it means to have a new day. Etch the words, "Only that day dawns to which I am awake," into your bathroom mirror. The contemplation of death, of one's own mortality, is a real and powerful meditation. Death awareness is true zazen. It's the universal spiritual practice, the only one anyone ever needs, and the one everyone should perform. So, yes, you'd want to do whatever you have to in order to bring this living awareness into your life. Develop the habit of thinking of death every time you look at a watch or clock, every time you sit down to a meal, every time you go to the bathroom. Take a walk alone every day and think about what it means to be alive, to walk, to see and hear, to breathe. It's not an exercise. It's not something you're trying to make yourself believe, like an affirmation. It's something that's real and central to your every thought and act. If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do today? And why the hell aren't you doing it?